Hello, version 166. Where is what? Okay, the UI is a little bit different, and some options or things are on a other place now. I start at the top left corner here. Here's only languages new. You can change your language now. There's a other video on YouTube that explains how to change the language. The next thing is the project menu. Here's a important button, the advanced button. Here you can read yourself what's in this menu, and the rest is okay, I think. Here in the scene menu, they're changed a lot. There's a new instance option or uninstance, or the clone thing is here. And the next thing is there's a join. You can join now the objects. This is the same as combine, or I don't know the word for it in the last version. But the question is, where is the separate button? Here, when you press the three dots, here you can find the separate button. And here you find also the rename function. And here is again instance and clone for this object. And in the upper left corner here is a small plus. Here you can find your primitives. Here you can bring in a box, a sphere, or as in version 165. But there are also group nodes or a add view node. Add view, here this is new. And here you can change now your views. You can add a new view here like this, add. And now you can switch through the views. And the views here appear in the scene menu. And it's also possible to add repeater nodes and light nodes. Okay. Yes. Important button is the advanced settings button here for the scene menu. Here you can show hierarchy lines between the parent and the child objects. And here's the important thing, the use nomad pivot. Some meshes, when you import them, the pivot can make problems, or yes, you can read it and here you find it. Okay. Here in the mesh menu, there's multi-resolution, voxel, remesh, dynamic topology, decimation, and UV. Here you find the UV unwrapping, and here's close holes. Triplanar is here. Okay, and for the UV thing, here's a setting in the debug. Keep UV here, keep primitive UVs for a sphere, and I think the cube has a primitive UV. It's good to know where you can find it. Okay. Dyno topology, I think nothing has changed. Voxel, yes, the same. Multi-resolution, it's also the same. Material, here's only subsurface is new as material. blending, dithering, additive. Okay, yes. In the lights menu, here's the ID is new. Post process, here you find global illumination, SSGI. This setting is experimental, and yes, there's a nice tutorial on YouTube to use this with faking lights. And at the bottom here you can find the pixel art, and the scan line is new. I think this one. Background, there's nothing new. Here in the camera are the views. Pivot settings. Okay. There's a new, at the right side, there's a new tool. This one here, select. It's a lasso selection. Here you can select the objects with a lasso, and in the here unselect is on. Now I select this one, and yes, in the scene then the objects are selected. This tool is new. And view. Here's the view settings. I think these settings are new to adjust. Okay. Here you can show the icons off and so on. Show plane on, off. Here you find it. And in the gizmo settings, here's the matrix. Here it's possible to pick the translation and slide your object. I make a screenshot. Here you can slide, or this one or this. Pick it with a pencil and slide left, right. And it's important for some things like the height map here. When you go here in the gizmo matrix, here you can adjust with a slider the distance of the height map. Here you can adjust it, the settings. And it's also possible when you change your pivot in the rotation here a little bit. Sorry, I turned the snap off here. And when you scale your objects in this direction, you get a new matrix line, the skew line. Here you can change the skew of the object, like this in this direction. Okay. I clean the scene a little bit. And for the gizmo settings here, or in the gizmo menu, there's here I make another screenshot. You find here now the options for the transform in this menu here, or in this, and the left side here, the target. You can change it here. Object, group, or vertex. This is the new position of this thing. At the left side, there's also here here as the snap for the angle or the rotation, and a new snap for the distance for the objects. Here you can change here the value, for example to 0.5, and now when you move your object, it snaps every 0.5 unit in every direction you move it with a gizmo. Yes, this is this. I think the tools with the settings here, nothing big changed. Paint. One new thing is when you press here on the texture, then your little browser here appears, and there's a new icon here. You can enlarge your little browser here, like this. Pressure settings, they are the same. The symmetry, this is a little bit different, but nothing new to find here. Layers. In the layers here you find a new option here is to extract the mask of a color. I delete, bring in here a sphere and paint. I create a new layer, and here when you paint now, or here in the channel factors, you can mask here the color of the layer. When you press mask, it masks the color, and when you press on invert, then yes, you get the inversion of the mask of the color. It's very, very useful, this setting here. Or you can extract the roughness, the metalness. Yes, important thing. In the display settings, I think is also not a new thing here. And interface settings a little bit changed. Gesture. Here are a lot of key bindings when you use a keyboard. And here's a debug, a little bit changed. Here's the height map. It's a better height map than in version 1.6.5. GIF export is here. Yes. The selection tool I explained, and yes, I think these are the main things where to find something. Okay, if not, I do another tutorial. Okay, have fun with sculpting. Ciao.